like to ask about Herman Frank again, because it's also quite interesting project. It's more like 80s heavy metal, really heavy, really like brutal sounding and stuff like that, as far as I know. So which album of Herman Frank where you were involved do you like the most?
I'll have to look at the wall because how many did I do? I think it's hard to say because the first album was so what do you call it? You didn't think so much. It was just he sent me the songs, I wrote the lyrics, I wrote the melodies, we did the album. And some songs turned out really good, some songs could have turned out better. So for the next albums we have been working more back and forward with the ideas. The first one was so spontaneously. He sent the songs. Sometimes I sent the song back in half an hour, it was done. I mean, it was so easy. I just wrote it and sent it back. 1 hour he had all the files. So it was, but the other albums we started to send ideas back and forward and try a part of the verse from him, a part of the verse from me, and mix it together. So I mean, the longer we've done albums now, I mean, it's been getting harder and harder to make the albums because we are getting more and more what do you call it, interesting in doing every song as good as we can. In the beginning was more spontaneously, and now sometimes I think we overdo it because we work too much on the songs. But I think we keep it in quite a good good thing now. I mean, he has good ideas, but good balance right now because it's not too much work on the songs because they are songs like, as you say, rough metal, and they should be coming out straight and fast. It's not something you work on for a year in one song or something. It should be like rock and roll. It's something you do in the rehearsal room and then you record it. So I like it that way. The first album I like because we did it so spontaneously and so rough. But then we have the other albums I also like because now we are working a little bit more in detail with vocals and drums and everything. So I can't say that I like one, but if I have to take, I think the first one was, even if I don't, maybe it's not the most songs on that album, all the best songs on that album, but I still think the feeling for me is best with the first album because it was so easily work. We did it so fast and we just had fun. So.
And this is maybe how heavy metal really should be done, because it's,
it is.
The spontaneous way of working. It's also heard in the songs, and I think that. Okay, you were working with quite a lot of interesting guitar players like Olaf Lang or Roland or Herman Frank or the guys in Gathering of Kings or with your solo project. So what kind of guitar playing you like the most? If I would say like this AOR or hard rocking stuff, or modern power metal like Roland, or classic heavy metal like Herman Frank, for example. What is closest to your heart?
Yeah, if we have. That's really hard question also. I mean, it's different. If you like the riffing, I like most in style of Masterplan or maybe also Herman Frank, the heavy riffing. I like that. But then on the other hand, you have all these nice melodies on guitar, like you have all the Giant albums with Dan Huff or something. I like that guitar style very much. So, and also, of course, I like old Yngwie Malmsteen stuff, the old stuff, because it's very good played and very good. But so if I say melody-wise, I like maybe the 80s AOR style, but the riffing I like more like Masterplan and Herman Frank, but more rougher and heavier and fat guitar sound. But it's hard to combine those two things. But
yeah, it is. So it's good that you've got projects with both of these worlds, or from both of these worlds. So which are your like 3 favorite artists ever, the most favorite artists or bands or singers, or I don't know, like
if I just had to say them, I have to say still Dio as a band, not necessarily also like a singer, but he's Dio the band, and also Yngwie Malmsteen early days. And then I have one other favorite that's a bit off, but it's a band Saga from Canada.
Of course.
I know. So that's also one of my favorite bands I've been listening to since I was a teenager, so still listen to them.
And do you have some kind of albums which you like the most? Something like which you still love and still can listen to it over and over and over again? Like if so, let's say 3 albums as well. Like we have 3 artists, so now 3 albums.
Let's see. Images. No, what's it called? The Images in Twilight, right? With Saga, the first or second album. Doesn't matter. First or second album with Saga. That's still in my playlist all the time. So.
Okay.
And I also have always, which one is not? I think it's actually Holy Diver. It always on the, somewhere. Even if I don't choose the playlist, I don't know how they know it, but there are always songs from that album coming out somehow. And I don't know, maybe one of the early Malmsteen albums, I would say. I mean, it's still the artist, the albums. It's hard to say, but it's one of his four first album, I guess.
Okay. And do you like some kind of music, not from the rock or metal genre, but something like pop or classic or I don't know, country and whatever?
But I don't know if I want to say it.
Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to.
No, but I like a lot of those other kind of musicians. But that's mainly because I like have respect for the singer. If you take Michael Bolton, I like Michael Bolton. It's not all the songs that sometimes it's a bit too cheesy, but I mean, he's always a really, really good singer. Yeah. And and he has so many good songs as well. And Bryan Adams or whatever, that's still rock singer. But I mean, but Bolton, Bryan Adams or whatever, these kind of rock singers, I like that a lot. And I play them often because, I mean, if you're working a lot with metal music, then I don't listen to metal music. But these 2 years, I've been actually listening more to Malmsteen and Dio and the old things I listened to before. But when you're working on albums or playing a lot of live shows, I tend not to listen to metal when I'm not
working. Because that's exactly my experience as well. Because when I played with Sebastian and other bands with Citron, etc., many gigs. So I was totally tired of metal, and I was listening to Pink Floyd most of the time, and I was like, the sound is just awesome, not the guitars, not this energy. But now after COVID, I'm enjoying metal again. So
that's the thing. I mean, when you are in the middle of working with something in metal music, then it's hard listening to it. When you finish the day, you don't want to listen to more metal music after 8 hours in the studio. So, but now. The last 1.5 years, I've been listening more to metal again, actually. But
Okay. And so about your solo album, so why right now? Why haven't you done it before, like I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that? Why the time is right now?
No, I don't think the time was right now. The thing was that we started to write songs 2 years ago, me and a friend, and then the winter 2019 and 2020, we started to write songs, and we did songs when we planned them for other artists. So I wrote melodies, vocal melodies, did some lyrics, he did all the music, and then we had 8 or 9 songs. I tried to pitch them to Gathering of Kings, to Masterplan, to everybody. We did songs in different styles, but all of a sudden when COVID came, everybody had so much time to write songs themselves. So I mean, then it was stuck. Every song we wrote, if we did it a couple of years before, maybe then we had songs to sell. But now everything we did was everybody. We're gonna write our own songs in this album because blah blah blah. We have the time. We're not touring. We're not doing anything. And the guy I'm working with, he's working a lot with Frontier Records, so he's doing a lot of songs every year, like 100 songs for different artists or making ideas and stuff. So we started to work on songs in a little bit different direction with other kind of vocals than. But as I said, we couldn't really get nobody to take them because they really wanted to do their own songs now that they had time, and I totally understand that. So we said, hey man, now we have 20 songs. What are we gonna do with them? So he said, let's record it ourselves. So I did like a solo album. So I had so many ideas done. So some of them were just verse, chorus, and then sent away for somebody if they wanted it. But now everything is finished. We have 10 songs now, some that are also finished. So total, it's going to be 14 songs on the album. So now they are recording bass and drums on these 10 songs. So they're going to be mixed in December. And then everything's released next year. So it's not. It was never a thing for me to do a solo album. I'm more like a team player. I want to be in a band. I want to play in a band. I'm not a solo artist, but I mean, we didn't know what to do with the songs, and he was continuing by just sending songs. So, I mean, I have 14 new songs for the next album if I want to do it. I mean, he's just sending songs, and I'm making lyrics and melodies. So I mean, we had to do something with it.
Also plan some live playing with the band, like a solo band, ALTZI, or not at all, or
if somebody wants it. I mean, then we have a band. I mean, there's the bass player, there's the drummer, there's a guitarist, there's a keyboard player, so everybody's there. But we're just recording it on the album. So there are bass player is a Swedish guy who plays in Therion, before Treat, Nalle Paulsson, and then you have Kevin on drums. So so there's a complete band. So we could do it, but on the other hand, I mean, now when we start playing again next year, it's going to be a lot of shows. I see my calendar; it's a lot of shows booked already with Masterplan and Gathering of Kings. So I don't think I will have the time to do my own stuff next year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, and so I think maybe my last question: what would you recommend to yourself at the age of 15? If you could tell something to yourself when you were young, what it would be? Like, don't do music, don't do that, or otherwise, it's great, keep going.
Yeah, I would probably tell myself to start sing instead of continue playing guitar and bass, because I realized I was 35 when I started to sing. I mean, it wasn't that early. So, but on the other hand, maybe if I started to sing earlier, I wouldn't have developed the way I did now. I'm not sure. It's really hard to say, but I would probably have given myself some courage. And when I was playing bass when I was 15, I was standing mainly with my back to the audience and looking at my bass amp all the time because it was a little bit stage fright. But I came over it, and nowadays it's no problem. So I mean, but I would probably give myself a small kick in the ass and say, just come on, you can do it. So
don't be shy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about it, it's kind of
it took a little bit long, I think, to.
Yeah, but even with that, the career was quite, outstanding from nothing to advance. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Think about it this way.
Yes. When I started to sing, it was a quick step upwards. So yeah, it's been really up. So it's been nice. I just hope the voice lasts another 20 years. So let's see.
Yeah, I hope so. I saw you on tour, so I'm sure you will make it.
Yeah.
You're not getting any or taking any music lessons or vocal lessons and stuff like that, or are you taking care of your voice somehow? Are you doing something special for that, or not at all?
No, actually not. I never had any lessons, but I have people telling me sometimes, think about that and think about that, but I think when I start to think about things, I just lose the feeling I have. I don't want to. I just sing, and I mean, normally it works. And maybe I come to a day when I realize that I should have been warming up before a show. I should have been doing this practice for breathing or whatever. But for now, I mean, normally I just have a beer and then I go on stage and then we play a show. I mean, I don't care so much. But maybe it's gonna punish me in the end. You never know. I mean, the voice might disappear 10 years earlier than it should because I'm not taking care of. I don't know. Let's see. No.
Well, but now it seems your voice is in great shape. I heard some stuff from your solo album, and I think so I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna buy it for sure. And okay, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the interview. And I will let you know when the interview is going to be released, and so we can maybe share it somewhere on Facebook and stuff like that.
Of course.
Okay. So stay healthy, man. Say hi to like Apollo Papagnasio if you're going to be in touch with him.
Yeah. I met him this weekend. We had a show with Gathering of Kings, so I met him a couple of days ago. So.
Yeah, okay. So when you'll see him again, say hi, because I worked on his solo album in 2016 or 17. All the Devils, I wrote 2 songs for him, and we are friends. You know, we did 2 or 3, I think, duet songs with Sebastian and stuff like that. So we know each other for quite a while.
Oh, it's cool. I'm gonna meet him at least. He just lives, 30 kilometers from me, so it's really close. But we never meet. We don't meet that often, actually. But we're gonna meet more now, and also in January, I think we have 3 shows booked with Gathering of Kings in Sweden. Okay. So at least we're gonna meet them.
Okay. Yeah, so perfect. So have a nice rest of the day. Thanks again. And hope to see you soon, also in person, to have a beer together and only like this. Okay. So man, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Ciao.